I think I've always been a little bit of a DIY type person, and a long time ago I started making my own yogurt and sourdough bread, and I was making vinegar as well, but I didn't really specifically recognize those as like a fermentation habit. I just thought, you know, I'm a person that likes to make weird things that you don't probably need to make yourself. I was working in the food industry, which is part of what led me to making yogurt specifically. I worked in the yogurt domain, and I was like, it seems a little weird the way that commercial yogurts are made. And it's fine, it's safe, there's nothing particularly wrong with it other than the fact that they're cultivating bacteria, then killing them, then adding bacteria back in. It seemed to me there would be like a more straightforward way of doing that, and indeed there is, the way of normally culturing yogurt. So I dove into Sandor Katz's Wild Fermentation, and I started making all kinds of recipes from that book, and it became a daily habit really quickly after quitting my job. I loved it so much, and I feel like it's such an important part of our food history that most people are missing out on, that I really wanted to share the word. So that's when I started the blog, Phickle.com, and that's when I also started teaching classes. Fully 90% of the vegetable ferments that I make I was making dinner, I had extra of that, I put it in the jar. It's my convenience food. It's convenient for me to use my vegetable scraps or my apple cider that's bloated. I'd rather make apple cider vinegar or hard cider out of that than dump it down the drain. So it's usually to conserve things and to use up what otherwise would have to go to the compost pile. I think for most people, they can make something once, or they can buy a version at the store before they make it themselves and see that it really does improve something. It makes their digestion better, it makes them feel better, or they have more energy. At least for sure that last one has not been evaluated by the FDA. I think it's not just the fact that you read a thing, it's that you can test the hypothesis on yourself. For most people, you know, they taste them and either they like them immediately or love them immediately, or they kind of acquire the taste, and then it's pretty hard to get rid of those cravings once they're gone because they're unique flavors. There's no other way to create them without fermentation. Having come from the food industry and having an understanding of how that works, it's just very far removed from the way that our food is produced when we eat foods that are highly processed or that come from very far away. And when you can have the experience of buying local, when you go to the Fair Food Farm stand, where all the products, you can see exactly where they came from, and there are personal connections at every level along the way. It's not somebody in a factory who doesn't know the guy who's driving the truck, who's taking it to someplace else where he doesn't know any of those people. It's a much more personally connected way to eat. And to me, that's really important. Like, it's all about connection. The more disconnected we are from things, the less able we are to make good decisions because we don't understand where anything is coming from. So for me, I don't think that the local movement, I don't think it can be called a trend. I feel like it's an essential